Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So today we're doing the breakdown video for the Teofimo Lopez versus versus Sandor Martin 140-pound showdown that is going to take place on Saturday, December 10th on ESPN. Martin took the place of former two-division world champion Jose Pedraza, and I honestly think Martin's probably a little bit more of a threat to Lopez than Pedraza was. Excuse me one second. You know, obviously Lopez is coming in the odds-on favorite, and he should. He's a, former unified. Some people might call him a former undisputed champ at 135. I've reneged on mine. I don't think he was a full undisputed champion, but he was close to it. But be that as it may, he defeated Vasily Lomachenko, destroyed Richard Comey. It's a good, Lopez is a good, solid fighter, and this is going to be his second fight at 140 pounds. He debuted a few months ago in August, got a stoppage win against a veteran, and now he's coming in here against Martin, and Martin's taking a fight on just about a 4-week notice, and Lopez is going to try to really punch his ticket into an eventual title shot is what he's hoping for, because a win over Martin actually loads him up in the WBC for the second half of next year, or loads the winner up to fight the winner of the eventual Regis Prograis Zepeda fight that's taking place this weekend. The winner of that is supposed to fight former champ Jose Ramirez, and then the winner of that would fight potentially the winner of Lopez and Martin. Now, that's granted, Lopez doesn't go and fight somebody else like Josh Taylor or something in the first half of the year, which I think is likely. But, at least it sets up the big fights to happen. And Lopez, I think he's going to want a title shot in his third fight at 140 pounds. So, he's got to get through Martin first, though. This is a big matchup right here at 140. So, I'm going to do the breakdown on it. Now, as we do in normal breakdown videos, we either start with if it's a title fight, we start with the champion, then move to the challenger. In this case, we go with the favorite and the underdog when it's a non-title fight. So we'd start with Lopez and then go over to Martin. I ask the same questions. I actually give a background on each fighter and what they've been doing recently. I ask the same questions of each fighter, and then at the end of the video, I do the is it better for boxing if one or the other wins? And then the final question is the final thing is my prediction on the fight. So let's start with the favorite, the former unified lightweight champion of the world, Teofimo Lopez, as he enters his second fight at 140 pounds. Now, Lopez is hungry. His last 3 fights have been his biggest high and his biggest low. They go back to 2020 when he defeated Vasily Lomachenko in an upset decision behind closed doors to become the unified lightweight champion. That made him the #1 guy at lightweight. Then in his very next fight, his initial defense, he lost his unified titles to George Kambosos Jr. in November of last year, as Kambosos just outworked him conceivably in a good smash mouth fight, traded knockdowns in that fight, and he suffered the first loss of his career. Then he returned in his last one, and again, I'm drawing a blank on his opponent's name. It was a veteran, though, not too well known, but he got him out of there, stopping him, I believe, in the 7th or 8th round, as he made his debut at 140. So Lopez now that the weight's under control, he's heading into this fight. He's got a half-inch height advantage, but he's taking on a southpaw. So, but I think he's hungry. I think he wants more, but he cannot overlook Sandor Martin. Now, what kind of fight does Lopez need to have in order to win this one? Well, Lopez better be concerned about winning rounds. He cannot stand there and just look for the knockout against Martin. Martin is crafty. He's a southpaw, and he likes to, he definitely likes to disrupt rhythm, as you saw with Mikey Garcia. And Mikey Garcia was a smooth, good boxer. He couldn't figure out Martin enough to beat him. can Lopez? That's the thing. And Lopez, if he throws that power jab that he has and he boxes and doesn't just stand there looking for the knockout, he definitely keeps himself invested in each round to try to win that. But he also needs to, since he has the slight height advantage, he definitely needs to try to mix that right hand in big time. He needs to set that right hand up and try to land it down the pipe and not land it when Martin's backing out so much. You know, he needs to catch him when Martin steps in. He needs to land a big shot. So, you know, it's going to be interesting, but he definitely needs to plan on going the distance in this one. Of course, he's going to try for a knockout. I would expect that. But he needs to try to close the distance and, you know, get a, and be okay with a decision if it comes to that. Now, can Teofimo Lopez win this fight by knockout? I think he can. It's just, you know, Martin's a difficult fighter, but maybe he's not as difficult as we think, because Martin came in being overlooked by Mikey Garcia. I don't know if Lopez is going to overlook him, and if he does, is he going to overlook him in the same manner that Mikey did? No, I don't believe so. I think Lopez knows what he's got in front of him, knows he's got to pass this test right here, and I think he's coming in with a good mind on his head of, you know, going for the knockout at some point, of course, but he needs to set it up. So do I believe he can win by knockout? You know, I do. I don't know if it's going to be easy, though. You might have to wear him down and catch him with something late. That's more what I see. Can Lopez win a decision? I think he can. I think Lopez and Martin are somewhat on the same level as a boxer, but I think Lopez has more natural talent, and I think he can outbox Sandor Martin and get a decision. But I don't know if he dominates him. So a decision might be a close one if he wins it. But I do think Lopez can walk away with a decision. Now, what does a win mean for Teofimo Lopez here? And a win, you know, keeps the Lopez train rolling at 140 pounds. He really can't afford to lose this fight right here. He really can't. It's too early at 140, and Lopez is still considered to be a highly regarded pound-for-pound type fighter. He cannot afford to lose to Sandor Martin. Even though Martin upset Mikey Garcia, and he might be better than we think, he cannot afford to lose this fight to Sandor Martin. So, yeah, a win would mean a lot. It would set up potential showdowns with other fighters. A loss really would hurt him. What does a loss mean? A loss would really hurt Lopez and his rise to power at 140 pounds. So he really can't afford that. Now, switching over to the underdog, Sandor Martin, taking a fight on 4 weeks notice. This is a guy that is hungry as well. He, his last 3 fights, I believe his last win came in June. You know, fought a nobody opponent. Prior to that, he scored the upset and biggest win of his career when he defeated Mikey Garcia last year, as they fought at a few pounds over 140 pounds. He fought him in Fresno, California, and upset him by a 10-round majority decision, and really threw his name into the mix everywhere. So Martin, hungry, coming into this one. It's an eliminator. He wants his first crack at a world title, and he knows he's got to go through Teofimo Lopez to do that. I think he's ready and willing. Now, what kind of fight does Martin need to have to win this one? He needs to, in my opinion, he needs to be a pure boxer puncher in this one. He needs to take some risks. He needs to get in there and mix it up, but he needs to continue to throw punches. Lopez gets lazy sometimes, that I notice. He stands there pot-shotting, looking for one big shot instead of setting his shots up. And I think that could be detrimental to Lopez in this fight, especially if Martin is throwing a lot of punches. If Martin just goes in there and throws a lot of punches, even if they're pitter-patter shit, he's not a big, powerful guy. Even if it's pitter-patter and keeps Lopez's rhythm off, I think that's the key to victory right here for Sandor Martin. Now, can Sandor Martin defeat Teofimo Lopez by knockout? I don't think so. I think it would have to be from if he were to stop him, it would absolutely have to be from him just wearing down Teofimo Lopez and pressing on him. And it's not to say that's not possible. You know, Lopez has not fought a ton of rounds, you know, the last few years. You know, he had the 12, you know, he went 12 rounds in 2020 with Loma. He went 12 rounds with Cambosos in 2021, and he went another 7 here. So he's fought about 31 rounds in the past 2 years, which is decent. You know, it's not bad, but he's not a full-on experienced 12-round fighter. So, but neither is Martin for that matter. So Martin definitely needs to be prepared for 12 rounds if he's going to go and try to win this one. Can he win a decision over Teofimo Lopez? I think he can. I think he can beat Lopez by a decision. I do. I don't think it would be a blowout, but I can see him winning a convincing or close decision. So we'll see. What does a win mean for Sandor Martin right here? Well, it means everything. I mean, people will stop looking at him as a one-hit wonder, like his win over Mikey Garcia, and they'll start looking at him as a legitimate threat, and it leads to an eventual title shot if he beats Teofimo Lopez here. So a win means everything for Sandor Martin. Absolutely would be the biggest of his career, even bigger than the Mikey Garcia fight. What does a loss mean for Martin? Well, you know, a loss, here's a kicker. A loss really isn't going to hurt Martin all that much. Of course, any loss hurts. We all know that. But to lose to Teofimo Lopez, especially fighting him on 4 weeks' notice, I don't think many people think that he's going to pull off the upset here. So if he does pull off the upset and becomes the new, you know, becomes the #1 contender, I think that's going to lead to a bigger, you know, a bigger deal right there. It's going to lead to bigger things for Sandor Martin. So he's kind of going into this one, you know, with that he's got nothing to lose mentality. Everything's on the line, and I think he's coming in ready to go. So now, is it better for boxing if Teofimo Lopez or if Sandor Martin wins this fight? And for me, that's easy. It's better for boxing if Lopez wins. Lopez is a big name. He's flashy. He's got power. You know, people know him. And, excuse me, sorry about that. And I absolutely think that he can win this fight by, I mean, that it's better for boxing if he wins. You know, Sandor Martin, people like him. You know, he's kind of got that underdog story, but, you know, he's not a big name. And I think another upset here would only kind of hurt. Yeah, I'm not saying it's going to hurt boxing, but, you know, boxing needs its very popular, flamboyant stars like Lopez. And a loss would really, it would not be good for boxing. Let's just say that. And now, finally, my prediction. Who do I think is going to win this fight between the former unified lightweight champion of the world, Teofimo Lopez, and his opponent, Sandor Martin, as they compete in this this junior welterweight title eliminator at 140 pounds? I got to go with Lopez. I think he knows what's at stake. I think he wants this one badly, and I think he's going to come in and get the win. And, you know, by any means necessary, he's going to walk out of there with the victory. But I do not think it's going to be a pretty one, and I'm going to predict that it goes the distance. I think Martin's going to go the distance. I think he's got a solid chin. Now, I think Lopez could definitely land something big and knock him out. But I'm picking Martin. I'm picking Lopez to win this fight. But you know what? I think Martin is a very serious underdog, a live underdog. I think he's definitely has an opportunity to pull off the upset here without question. I have no doubt that he could do that. And I wouldn't be surprised if he went and did that. So we're going to see what happens. It should be good, but I'm going Lopez by unanimous decision and pushing forward at 140 pounds. But we'll see what happens. But that's it. That's what I got. That is the breakdown video, the Lopez versus Martin breakdown video as they collide in a 140-pound tilt on Saturday, December 10th. In the main event of an ESPN card. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate any and all support. This is True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.